From Dolphin Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II men's soccer coverage live on the ECC network. Today's matchup features the Mercy College Mavericks taking on the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, this is Joe Foreman joining you on the call from the press box atop Dolphin Soccer Park, where the College of Staten Island will meet Mercy College in a crucial East Coast Conference matchup for both of these teams. The Dolphins in conference play are 2-2 on the season. Mercy hoping to secure a playoff spot in the ECC. They are 4-1-1 against conference opponents this year. Earlier this afternoon, women's soccer wrapped up a match against this same Mercy College team, and it was all Mavericks as Mercy defeated CSI by a final score of 6-0. The Dolphins were last in action on the men's side this past Wednesday as they took the road to face Alliance University. The stat line favored the Warriors in several key categories, but it was the Dolphins who came away with the victory behind a game-winning goal from Javier Campos in the 81st minute. The Mavericks last took the pitch 1 week ago today. They battled St. Thomas Aquinas College to a 1-1 draw. The Dolphins scored multiple goals for the fifth time this season during Wednesday's game, and while it was Campos who put the Dolphins ahead for good in that game, it was Brendan McGuire who gave the Dolphins an early 1-0 advantage with his second goal of the season on Wednesday. In net, Amari Thompson once again held the opposition to 2 goals or fewer in a game, and he is yet to allow more than 2 goals in any home match this season. Thompson has also posted a clean sheet twice on his home turf this year, and the Dolphins remain above the 500 mark as they are 3-2 at home this season at Dolphin Soccer Park. For the Mavericks, they are letting goals by Luis Silva. He has 6, and Matthias Shilbred Eriksson leads the team with 6 assists. Vasco Baptista, who was the Mercy goal scorer against the Spartans last weekend, is second on the team in points behind Silva with 11 on the season. Eric Elvestad has spent the majority of the season in net for the Mavericks. While allowing less than 1 goal per game, he has saved 75% of the shots that he has faced this year. There's just a brief preview of today's game between the Dolphins and the Mavericks as we got to look at some of the numbers for the stat leaders on these two teams. However, we do have the starting lineups for you as well. Those are being introduced here at Dolphin Soccer Park, so I will bring those to you. First, for the visiting Mercy College Mavericks, their starters in numerical order. Number 5, Marco Pacera. Number 8, Daniel Rodriguez. Number 9, David Breitenbach. Number 10, Nicholas Serta. Number 12, Matthias Shilbred Eriksson. Number 14, Saul Melendez. Number 15, Vasco Baptista. Number 16, Luis Silva. Number 17, Martin Peñafiel. Number 25, Benjamin Van Buren. And number 30, Eric Elvestad. Of course, Elvestad will be in goal. Starting lineup for the College of Staten Island in numerical order is as follows. Number 4, Luis Asensio Cueva. Number 6, Mohamed Sow. Number 7, Daniel Angulo. Number 10, Shane Siegel. Number 11, Nicholas Kashenko. Number 14, Stephen Bronco. Number 17, Leandro Angulo. Number 18, Brendan McGuire. Number 25, Jamali Peterson. Number 29, Stephen Flores. And in goal for the Dolphins will be number 30, Amari Thompson. Those are the starting lineups for both teams ahead of today's East Coast Conference matchup. And as I mentioned, it is a big one for both of these teams. The Dolphins have a stretch run that will consist of 4 conference games upcoming. The first of those to be played here this afternoon against Mercy. And in just a moment, I will share with you the men's soccer standings in the East Coast Conference. Leading the way in the ECC on the men's side is Malloy University. They are 5-0-1. Mavericks are currently in second with a record of 4-1-1. Queens comes into the day at 4-2. Roberts Wesleyan at 3-1-2. And the Dolphins at 2-2. So 4 very big games remaining on the Dolphins' schedule as they look to make a push toward the East Coast Conference playoffs. As I mentioned, of course, the first game in that stretch run will be played today against Mercy College. Up next for the Dolphins following today's game is a visit to Washington, D.C. and a battle with the University of the District of Columbia. The Dolphins then return home for their final game here at Dolphins Soccer Park 1 week from Wednesday as they will take on Daemen University. The Dolphins then wrap up their season on the road at Queens College on Saturday, October 29th. The Dolphins will certainly need to win at least 3 of those games, if not all 4, in order to qualify for the East Coast Conference playoffs, and we will see how things shake out. As I mentioned during the women's game, one of the questions I always have in my mind every season covering this Dolphins team is how many teams qualify for the playoffs? Perhaps that's a question I should have asked ahead of today's game, but we'll get the answer to that next time and be sure to have that for you next time we come on the air. But based upon the playoff scheduling, it appears as if 4 teams will qualify, the semifinals scheduled for one day and the finals scheduled for another. So that format, I believe, would only be conducive to 4 teams, which would mean that in the East Coast Conference, 5 teams would miss out on the playoffs on the men's side of things. In the first half, it will be the Mavericks attacking right to left, the Dolphins attacking left to right. Dolphins are back in their all-white uniforms. I know our stats desk, big fans of those uniforms. So the Dolphins back in white here this afternoon. The Mavericks wearing their navy uniforms with white numbers. The Dolphins, white on white. White uniforms, white numbers. In goal will be Amari Thompson. He is sporting a pink kit this afternoon. He is wearing number 30. Also wears number 31 on occasion, depending on which color his kit is on any particular day. And the Mavericks will kick off as we begin Game 2 of our East Coast Conference soccer doubleheader, Dolphins and the Mavericks, here on the ECC Network. As the Mavericks get moving on the attack quickly, that attacking play was disrupted by the Dolphins as Daniel Rodriguez looked to make his way in toward the penalty area. That one off the heel of Luis Silva over the touchline. It was deflected by a Dolphin, and the Mavericks will throw. Shelbrett Erickson will throw, and his throw goes toward Breitenbach. He's met by 2 Dolphins. That ball stays in as Jamali Peterson goes down, and it will be a Dolphins throw. So play was allowed to continue for a few seconds there before a throw-in was officially the call. As the Mavericks have it now. Silva sent that one off of Kishenko. And we are going to have our first corner kick of the match just over 1 minute into this first half. Now, it was brought to my attention that our automated camera atop the press box is ready to go. If that is the case, we should be debuting it in our women's soccer match on Wednesday. We'll see if that is a possibility, as that one headed out of danger by the Dolphins. And Gulo sends it into the midfield. Peterson battling for position against Melendez. And Melendez wins that battle as the Mavericks are awarded a throw. That one played back to the goalkeeper, Elvestad. Back up to Melendez and back to Elvestad. As I mentioned during the brief pregame, the numbers for Elvestad very impressive, especially in the goals allowed per game department. He's saved 3 out of 4 shots he's faced. Amari Thompson has been fantastic at home for the Dolphins. And this team has certainly seemed energized playing on their home turf this year. They come in with a winning record at home despite a 4-9 start. And will look to break above the 500 mark in conference play this afternoon as well. Mavericks very methodical here, working the ball horizontally across their back line. After a quick burst on the attack to open up the game. Certainly taking their time a bit more here. Mavericks now moving up the far sideline and moving ahead with some speed. Was Pena Fael, and he now has it as he moves toward the end line, and he's shielded off the ball nicely by Kishenko. Kishenko opens this game at one of the middle backer spots, along with Steven Flores. The outside backers Luis Asensio Cueva, and Leandro Angulo. Daniel Angulo in the midfield, it looks like, with Mohamed Sow and Stephen Bronco. Sometimes tough to get a read on where everyone's playing when the game first starts, but a good opportunity here to get a look at what the Dolphins have begun the game with. It looks like it is Siegel, Angulo, and Sow in the midfield. Bronco at the forward spot, along with Peterson and McGuire. Bronco and Sow, the Dolphins captains, sporting that Volt yellow armband. Looks like number 8, Daniel Rodriguez, sporting captain's armband for the Mavericks. Same goes for number 25, Benjamin Van Buren. Once again, the Mavericks moving east to west along their back line as that ball sent quickly into the midfield. Rodriguez got a piece. Fighting for possession is Breitenbach, and the Dolphins come away with it. This is Bronco. Bronco sends one up toward Peterson. He's being shielded off the ball by Van Buren, and Van Buren will let it roll over the touchline for a Mavericks goal kick. Van Buren. Sends it over to Melendez. That ball sent toward the far side. And back into the center of the pitch. Once again, it's Melendez. Melendez into the midfield circle for Rodriguez. Near side, that's Shilbred Erickson. Up to Silva, and a strong tackle by Leandro Angulo to spill it over the near side. Throw in to be taken by Matthias Shilbred Erickson. He gets it into Baptista, and quickly it's sent away by the Dolphins. That was Daniel Angulo on the clearance. This is Shane Siegel. And now Rodriguez. He plays it back to Melendez, who gives chase along the near side. Elvestad. Over to Van Buren. Becerra. Over to Melendez. It looks like Becerra has one of those yellow armbands as well. It appears as if Mavericks have 3 captains. That's a good long ball up the pitch, but Kushenko is ready for it once again. He battles against Breitenbach along the far side, and a throw-in is awarded to Mercy College. Looks like Peña-Fayel will throw. Throw a long one into the box. Dangerous spot, and Thompson is all over it. Thompson rolls it over to Kushenko. Kushenko for Angulo. Angulo up toward Peterson. Peterson looked to get to it, and Melendez will clear. Sow made some contact with the body. Silva whiffed on that header attempt, but his team does come away with it, and the ball finds its way back to Silva. Silva over to Shilbred Erickson. He moves up the near side. Look to send one into the box, and it is off of Flores and over the touchline for a Mavericks corner kick. We approach 7.5 minutes gone by in this first half. As the corner's taken short, Shilbred Erickson wants to cross. He does. Has an open man. That's Silva, and that shot is well high. Took down some tree branches back beyond the fence. No chance on that attempt, and it will be a Dolphins goal kick taken short by Thompson. This is Flores over to Kushenko. Kushenko takes a few strides up ahead and gives it up to Sow. Right back to Kushenko. He moves toward the midfield. His pass intercepted. And we do apologize. It looks like we might be having some playback issues at the moment with our video. We'll try and get that taken care of. in just a moment. Possession with the Mavericks. I'll try and take you through the action with our audio right now. We're having some power supply issues at the moment. Those should be corrected in just a few seconds. However, when running production truck on a low power supply, sometimes our video feed is impacted by that. So within a couple of minutes, our video should be restored to the correct frame rate. That may take a minute or two, so stay with us here on the ECC network as hopefully we'll get that video issue sorted out. The output to our monitor looks good. However, I suspect that the output to our live stream might not be. Dolphins have it in the back. That's Flores. Sends it up the pitch where it's headed by a Maverick. And it looks like our video is back to the correct frame rate. So thank you for staying with us through that. Thankfully, we caught it as Thompson rolls it up ahead to Angulo. Angulo. For Angulo. Rodriguez took it away. He continues to be pressured as he plays it back to Melendez. Alvestad. Over to Van Buren. Van Buren to the midfield stripe. Dolphins still applying a lot of pressure defensively, especially here in the midfield. Silva. Got it away to his backers once again. This is Melendez. He's been busy early in this one. Shilbrett Erickson into the midfield. And Flores intercepts his pass. Angulo for Siegel. Siegel moves forward, and that one is sent over the near side by Marco Pacera. Dolphins will throw. Dolphins tried to center it at the top of the box, could not. And now Kashenko will track it down. Kashenko to Flores. Back to Kashenko. And back to Flores again. These two sending it back and forth here as the Dolphins look for an opening. Long ball from Sal, headed by Shilbrett Erickson. Siegel trying to play Angulo ahead. Angulo got a piece. Serta cut off that angle nicely as the Mavericks nearly had it taken away by Peterson. And Mercy will be awarded the throw. Nearly 12 minutes gone by in this first half. Still no score. Our early game was highlighted by 6 goals, all belonging to the Mavericks. Dolphins still looking for their first real opportunity on the attack. Mercy, if I'm not mistaken, has just 1 shot, but we can consult the live stats for that. Mavericks once again moving up the far side. Silva battling Asensio Cueva. He gets some help from Bronco. Cross into the middle of the box, headed up in the air, and Thompson's got it. Short-handed Amari Thompson had no problem on that one. 2 shots for the Mavericks, none for the Dolphins officially. Once again, you can follow along with our live stats every home game over at CSIDolphins.com. And when live stats are available for our road contests, you can stay up to date on the stats for our road games as well. All at CSIDolphins.com. That ball sent down toward the corner. McGuire, the nearest Dolphin. And that's sent over the near side by Melendez. Dolphins will throw. Siegel had that ball knocked right back towards him. And he was being shielded off the spot by Cerda, who got it up to Breitenbach. Rodriguez faces a strong tackle from Sal, and now Siegel takes it away for CSI. Sal looking for Peterson. Now Siegel up ahead for McGuire. Headed away by Van Buren. Sal battling against Cerda. Now Breitenbach for Cerda. Too strong on the pass. Angulo will throw. And I think that's the equivalent of a fault. That drew some laughs from women's soccer as Leandro had that ball slip out of his hands. And now it looks like we're going to have two players getting a talking to. One of them, Leandro Angulo. Second, David Breitenbach. They are forced to shake hands, perhaps a bit begrudgingly. Got a good close-up look at it. Not sure either was thrilled about that, but good job by the head official to keep things civil as Peterson is whistled for the handball. Van Buren over to Melendez. Melendez has that pass knocked up into the air. He was looking for Cerda. Peterson got a foot on it. That was Becerra up ahead to Baptista. Baptista trying to play a man through, and Silva showing off some speed there, but Asensio Cueva knew he was never in any real danger. He was in good position. But we are going to have another corner kick. Corner kick number 3 for the Mavericks, as we are now 15 minutes into this first half. Shilbrett Erickson will take the corner. And Thompson snags it. Made that look easy. There was a lot on that corner. One poor touch or a misplay by Thompson, and that could be trouble. And we've seen some goalkeeping miscues by the opposition here at Dolphin Soccer Park on more than one occasion this year. All the more highlighting the importance of rebound control and sure-handedness when snatching that ball out of the air. Thompson has been money doing that, especially here at home. That ball will roll over the touchline for a Mavericks throw. Melendez. Over to Van Buren. Far side for Peña-Fiel. Cerda had it taken away, and the tackle by Kishenko will result in a whistle for foul. Dolphins bench didn't like that call much. That is rather unsurprising, as it's going to be a free kick for the Mavericks. They did have a good view of it. Foul took place right in front of the CSI bench. Peña-Fiel will take the free kick. 28:09 on the clock in the first half. As that's sent into the box, it gets through Kishenko and Angulo. Van Buren crosses. It's bodied down by Breitenbach. Now the ball is up in the air. Rodriguez. That's Baptista. And the Dolphins once again try and clear it. Shilbrett Erickson working against Peterson, and Peterson is forced into a turnover. Throw in taken quickly by Baptista. Gets it right back. Now Shilbrett Erickson for Breitenbach. That's sent toward the far post. Thompson has it. The Thompsons had to make like a wide receiver several times early in this first half. He has been busy. Thompson receives it back. Still officially just the 2 shots for the Mavericks. Dolphins still looking for their first shot attempt. Sal into the attacking third, headed by Shilbred Erickson. Peterson with the heel finds Angulo. Nice play there by Peterson. Now Bronco. Bronco looking to play Asensio Cueva through as he overlaps from his backer spot. And we've seen him lend himself to the attack on more than one occasion this year. Most notably in the Dolphins' home opener where he picked up an assist. However, that assist came from firmly planted in his backer spot. Found Leandro Angulo, who then assisted the goal scorer. If I'm not mistaken, that goal was scored by Stephen Adebisi way back on August 31st. Hard to believe the season's over a month old as that ball travels over the near side. Throw in for the Mavericks. We await the throw. Shilbred Erickson sends it long. Finds the foot of Angulo. Now Sal. Sal to Asensio Cueva. Nice move there to avoid a challenge from Cerda. And a good pass for Bronco. Bronco avoids one challenge, shoots with the left foot, and that is saved by Elvestad. Shane Siegel was ready for a rebound. He was charging in toward goal. And if Elvestad didn't handle that one cleanly, it would have been trouble. We'll get a second look at it shortly on replay. It all started with a nice pass from Asensio Cueva. And as that one travels into the stands, we'll get another look at that attacking play. There's the pass. Asensio Cueva threading the needle to find Bronco. Bronco with the left-footed shot, and there you see Shane Siegel. As the clock is stopped, head official emphatically calling over Angulo. Rodriguez was in that discussion as well. Baptista, and he is trying to restore order as that ball is sent over the end line and over the fence. I don't envy Steven and Nick along the near side, as now there were 2 soccer balls that have traveled over the fence. Nick tracks one down. We'll see if he gets any help on the second one. This is Flores. Up ahead toward Peterson. Now Siegel for Angulo. And Shilbred Erickson with a strong tackle of Angulo. Added a little bit extra. Perhaps a bit of a shove afterward. These two teams got tangled up quite a bit, which is what drew the talking to from the head official. And it was very clear he is not going to let that continue, so these two teams will have to clean it up as that is sent over toward Kishenko. Kishenko moving toward the midfield, looking for Siegel, but too much on that ball. It's going to be a throw-in for the Mavericks as we are approaching the midway point of this first half, and that will come at the 22:30 mark, of course. With no score between the Dolphins and the Mavericks. Rodriguez took a tumble, and now Peterson will try and take it away here. He cannot. Melendez cleared it right off of Sal. That was Silva. And he sends one off the head official. The head official is getting heavily involved early. That time not as he intended. He took a shot off the back there as Silva looked to switch play to the far side. He rifled one off the back of the head official. Possession belongs to Mercy as we now reach the midway point of half number one. 22:30 to go. Flores heads it up into the air, headed back down by Peña-Fiel. Breitenbach has his shot blocked. McGuire comes away with it. Now Siegel in the midfield. He's being pursued from behind by Silva. And that is tipped on the way out. It's going to be a throw-in for the Mavericks. Not sure the Dolphins agreed with that one, but they don't get a say in the matter. As once again, that's sent over the near side. And ball runners on this side have been awfully busy these last couple of minutes as the Mavericks will throw in. Van Buren. Far side for Peña-Fiel. Up to Cerda. Dolphins got a piece there, and both teams think it's theirs, but the throw-in belongs to Staten Island. McGuire was looking to play through a Dolphin. That was not there. Nobody home on that through ball. Van Buren was looking for Cerda, and Bronco comes away with it. Asensio Cueva toward Peterson. He jockeys for position against Van Buren, and the Dolphins will throw. And it looks like Peterson is really going to step into this one. That's headed toward the center of the box. But the Mavericks come away with it. Silva giving chase. He might get there, and he just runs out of room. Leandro Angulo will look to throw for the Dolphins. He has Peterson, as it looks like Henry Carino is getting set to check in. Mavericks have it, moving up the far side with some speed. Peña-Fiel passes the Dolphins bench. Rodriguez got trapped between a couple of Dolphins. He escaped. Peña-Fiel looked to turn and get it to Rodriguez. He could not. Asensio Cueva keeps it in. Kishenko toward McGuire. McGuire got tangled up there, and it's taken away by the Mavericks. That ball sent to Breitenbach. He tries to turn and could not. Becerra found him as Rodriguez tracks it down in the corner. And a strong tackle by Asensio Cueva. A nice defensive play. Cerda goes down, but that was undoubtedly a clean tackle. And now we have a foul in the midfield. That's probably a good foul by the Mavericks, as the Dolphins were aggressively moving forward on the counter. It'll be a Staten Island free kick just inside of the midfield circle. Kishenko onto the foot of Peterson, and he is taken down as the physical play continues. But the Dolphins will certainly take it, as they are awarded a free kick from a dangerous spot a few yards outside of the penalty area. Dolphins get their first chance on a set piece here in this first half as we approach 18 minutes to play in half number one. We've already seen Daniel Angulo score on a free kick this year. He's lined up alongside Shane Siegel. Both players standing over the ball. And that is sent on goal. A good attempt by Angulo as he made a bid for another goal on a free kick. Here comes Silva. Kishenko knocks it down and sends it back across midfield. Headed by Van Buren. And we have a whistle. Looks like we might get a foul on Peterson. And that was indeed the call. They'll back Van Buren up a bit, but it was a foul on Peterson. Elvestad over to Melendez. Rodriguez. Becerra. Becerra up ahead for Cerda. Far side, Peña-Fiel. Now Baptista. Challenged by Kashenko. Asensio Cueva comes over. Dolphins really trying to trap the Mavericks along the sideline, but there's an aggressive tug of the jersey. Clock is stopped, and Asensio Cueva is shown a yellow card. No doubt about that one. For Asensio Cueva, that will be yellow card number 4 on the season. So he has to be careful moving forward. It's going to be a free kick from along the far side for the Mavericks. That's sent into the middle of the box, and it bounces straight into the arms of Thompson. Not sure if it was a Dolphin or a Maverick that got a piece of that. No shot on goal has been credited to Mercy, and it looks like it may have been Sal who headed that toward his own goal. Here's a second look. We'll wind it back a bit more and look at it one more time. Oh, yeah, that was certainly Sal, but the last to touch it may have been Van Buren. The shot on goal goes up on the scoreboard, so that's officially the first shot on goal for the Mavericks. Dolphins have a pair. Once again, CSI all over Mercy in the corner. This one sails into the box, and Thompson's got it. It's been a very evenly matched first half between these two teams. Neither has been able to gain any distinct advantage to this point. Angulo up to Sal. Sal far side, Bronco. Bronco back to Asensio Cueva. Now Kashenko. Kashenko moves forward into the midfield. Bronco avoids one challenge, could not avoid the second. It's knocked away by Peña-Fiel. Here comes Rodriguez. He has Cerda. Shilbrett Erickson moves in. He shoots, and it's saved by Thompson. That perhaps the biggest test for Amari Thompson in this match through the first 30 minutes. Dolphins possess it a few yards outside of the penalty area, as we'll get another look at that save by the Dolphins goalkeeper. Here it is. A rare unsuccessful tackle attempted by Leandro Angulo, and that set the stage for that shot. As Henry Carino will check in. Henry Carino enters the game. He replaces number 14, Steven Bronco. Throw in for the Mavericks. Maverick substitution, number 6, Eduardo Costa enters the game. He replaces number 5, Marco Becerra. Ball now in the midfield. It's just so hard to call these games over the public address. Just no space to think. Can't even begin to try and formulate a thought. Most of the time, I just wait for Andrew next door to finish and then continue. As Flores has it, as you may have heard over PA, Henry Carino into the game for Staten Island. We had that sub. Steven Bronco out. Marco Becerra comes out for the Mavericks. And Eduardo Costa checks in. We approach 13 and a half minutes to go in half number 1. Still no score between the Dolphins and the Mavericks. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the Mavericks positioned very well in the East Coast Conference standings. Dolphins need wins, but they're still firmly in the playoff picture as well. Once again, Malloy 5-0-1 against the conference. Mercy in second at 4-1-1. Queens in third at 4-2. Roberts Wesleyan in fourth at 3-1-2. The Dolphins right now are in fifth at 2-2.
For the Dolphins, number 16, Corey Alvarez enters the game.
We'll have another Maverick substitution here. Checking out will be Nicholas Cerda. He wears number 10. I believe that was number 19. Diego Arosemena. So Arosemena enters the game. And it's going to be a Mavericks throw-in here along the near side. Just over 12 minutes to go here in the first half, as that throw-in is headed by Breitenbach. He gets it back. 3 Dolphins surrounding him. He's able to get rid of it. Shilbrett Erickson goes down and then takes that ball straight to the head. And you never want to see that. Clock is stopped at 11:42. And we're going to have an injury timeout here. Shilbrett Erickson will definitely be evaluated for a head injury. Hopefully he's okay. And it looks like he is going to get to his feet. He took one off the head from point-blank range. He was down on the pitch. Dolphins looked to clear. And that ball hit him right in the temple. Shilbrett Erickson heads off. And the Mavericks will send a substitution out onto the pitch. Number 20, Joey Dos Santos will check in. He will replace Shilbrett Erickson for the moment. And they're going to force him to walk a lap around the pitch and get back to the scorer's table in order to check in. He was ready to stop along the near side and await his opportunity to get back in the game, but the lines judge says he has to get over to the scorer's table. So it'll be a long walk around the pitch for Shilbrett Erickson, but he appears okay, as he's going to check back in the first chance he gets, barring any changes in his mindset or perhaps further evaluation at his bench.
He replaces number 12, Matthias Shilbrett Erickson.
Mavericks quickly throw. Angulo chips it in the air and off of Asensio Cueva. Another throw in for Mercy into the attacking third. Headed toward goal and snatched by Thompson. Inside of 11 minutes to play here in this first half. Still no score between the Dolphins and the Mavericks. Mavericks, 5 shots, 2 on goal. The Dolphins with a pair of shots, both on goal. All 3 corner kicks belong to Mercy. That's Corey Alvarez with it near side for the Dolphins. I believe he checked in along with Carino. Alvarez with a nice one-touch pass from McGuire, as laying down on the pitch was Peña-Fiel, and he was able to clear it away just enough to halt that Dolphins attack. Peña-Fiel goes down, and Asensio Cueva is whistled for the foul. He already has a yellow. He has to be careful here. Free kick for the Mavericks. A few yards beyond the midfield stripe. Now less than 10 minutes to go in this first half. Dolphins and Mavericks still scoreless. These two teams do have an extensive history, dating all the way back to the 1970s. As that's sent into the box toward the far post and headed high. Chance there for Van Buren. But he could not put that shot on target. And Shilbrett Erickson will check back in for the Mavericks. So his stint on the bench, a short one. But taking a look back at the history between these two teams, they have met twice since the Dolphins announced they would be transitioning into Division II. First in 2019. That was a 1-0 victory for the Mavericks. Ignacio Mangata with the lone goal in that game for Mercy College as they defeated CSI by a goal. They then met again last year.
Number 12, Matthias Shilbrett Erickson. He replaces number 20,
Pau Akari and Matthias Kuhn scored the 2 goals for the Mavericks last season. Dolphins have not scored a goal against the Mavericks since all the way back in 1978. That match, a 3-2 victory for Mercy College. So the Dolphins trying to snap a scoreless skid against Mercy that has spanned nearly 4.5 decades. Of course, Dolphins have only met the Mavericks twice in the 70s, once in the 80s, and then they didn't meet in the 90s or 2000s. But nonetheless, Dolphins hoping to end that streak regardless. Dolphins also looking for their first win against the Mavericks. They're 0-5 in their 5 meetings with Mercy College.
Now in the game for the Mavericks, number 7, Daniel Dalmau. He replaces number 9, David Breitenbach.
Giving chase along the far side and running out of room with Silva. As for the Mavericks this season, it's been a really good one. 9-2-2, 4-1-1 against the East Coast Conference. Mavericks have only lost 1 time in their last 9 matches. That was against Malloy University back on Saturday, September 24th. It was a 2-1 defeat for the Mavericks in that match. They did take the lead in the second half, 10 minutes into that half. David Breitenbach put Mercy ahead 1-0, but Malloy scored 2 unanswered as Stephen Adebisi moves forward. Carino overlaps, looked to shoot, and that was blocked by Melendez. Angulo gets it back for CSI, and it's once again taken away by the Mavericks. Adebisi making a quick impact off the bench for CSI, but 2 unanswered goals by the Lions, 1 coming in the 89th minute. Sent the Mavericks to their second defeat of the season. That's also their only loss in conference play. The tie came against St. Thomas Aquinas College back on Saturday, October 8th. Dolphins played very well in their match against the Spartans. It was a 4-1 Dolphins win. Though I might be mistaken, the 4-1 win may have been against DeUville. It was a 4-0 or 4-1 win against DeUville, 2-0 over the Spartans. Still a good showing for the Dolphins in that game. Clean sheet for Amari Thompson. Dolphins played the Spartans back on September 24th. Played DeUville on October 1st. Both of those matches wins for CSI. In their only conference game since, they fell to Roberts Wesleyan University last weekend, 3-0. Sal finds Siegel. And offsides is the call from the lines judge along the near sideline. Inside of 5 minutes to play in this first half, we are still awaiting our first goal. No score between the Dolphins and the Mavericks, as Mercy will attempt a free kick here. That's sent deep into the attacking third, headed by Angulo, and Carino goes down. Free kick for the Dolphins. A few yards shy of midfield, and Steven Flores will take it. Flores sends it long up toward the far side. And Siegel tried to get there, but Peña-Fayel with a nice ball up ahead. And able to keep it in was Arosemena. That one sent toward goal and handled by Thompson, no problem. Dolphins only have 2 players who have started and played in every game. Leandro Angulo and Luis Asensio Cueva. The only other Dolphin to play in every game is the aforementioned Steven Flores, who took that free kick. He's played in every game and started in 12 of the 13 CSI matches. Mavericks are awarded a throw-in as the clock winds down toward 3 minutes to play in this first half. Shelbrett Erickson throws it toward the attacking third. Baptista headed it into the center of the pitch. Silva avoids one challenge, and Baptista sends it far side. Peña-Fayel looking for Arosemena in the corner, and he goes down, wanted a whistle and didn't get it. Goal kick for the Dolphins. Just over 2.5 minutes to play in this first half. Thompson waving his teammates up the pitch. Dolphins have plenty of time for one last push, as that's headed in the midfield. And Rodriguez did a nice job to keep possession. Silva tried to move in and is dispossessed by CSI. That ball too long for Siegel in the midfield. Peña-Fayel works through 2 Dolphins, and offering some help there was Alvarez. It spilled over the far side. Throw in for the Mavericks, headed up into the air by Silva. That one off the back of Sal. And Mercy will take possession right back. Baptista. It's given away again by Mercy, but Van Buren cuts off that ball. That one just got by Angulo. Daniel Dalmau in the game. He wears number 7. One of those forward spots for the Mavericks. He got a couple of touches there on that last sequence. This is Flores. Carino slows things down. It's given away once again by the Dolphins as we approach 1 minute to play in this first half. Mavericks will look to set up one last push down the pitch themselves now.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
Officially 1 minute on the clock. Physical battle between Kishenko and Silva. Kishenko drew the whistle. He will attempt the free kick. Clock continues to move as we are inside of 40 seconds to play in the half. That's headed into the midfield. Rodriguez for Shelbrett Erickson. He has Dalmau. Now Shelbrett Erickson looks to send it in front. And Angulo wisely let that go. And that's not a play many will catch, but that was a smart play by Angulo, as Kishenko was set up facing the proper direction to clear it. 5 seconds remaining in the half. And that will do it for half number 1. No score through 45 minutes in this East Coast Conference men's soccer matchup between the College of Staten Island and Mercy College. When we come back, the second half of this pivotal conference battle between CSI and Mercy. More NCAA Division II men's soccer coverage after the halftime break.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels.
I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels.
I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community. Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
May I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at It's On Us.
And we are back from Dolphin Soccer Park, where there is no score between the Mavericks and the Dolphins at the start of the second half. Very evenly matched first half, as the first ball of the second half played into the penalty area, sails behind the frame. So it does appear as if our clock has stopped syncing with our main scoreboard. So I'll try and address that in just a moment. But right now, it does not appear as if the clock is properly synced. So we'll see if we can get that back up and running correctly. But once again, this is the start of the second half between the Dolphins and the Mavericks. That one sails over the far side, and Mavericks will throw. Mavericks have it in the back. Van Buren plays it up ahead now. Up along the far side goes Mercy. Dolphins applying pressure here. Van Buren sends it long. Been to the attacking third, and apologize from a bit delayed calling the action. I'm still working on our scoreboard here, trying to get everything configured properly, and I think I may have just done that. And we're good to go. Second half, 43-15 on the clock from the College of Staten Island. Both teams in search of their first goal. Here come the Mavericks. Silva met by Kishenko. Kishenko strong over the ball. And he gets it to Asensio Cueva, who had it knocked away from him by Silva. Dolphins throw. That ball sent into the midfield. Angulo there waiting. He has Leandro Angulo. Back to Daniel Angulo. And Leandro finds Carino, but Van Buren was all over that one. Good anticipation on that play. That free kick was sent right off of Mohamed Sow. And we had a Dolphin go down. And it doesn't look like either team is happy with the head official. That's a very unenviable position to be in. Good show of sportsmanship there by Daniel Rodriguez to help up the Dolphin, who was down. We await a CSI free kick. Clock is still running, just inside of 42 minutes. Angulo will take the free kick. That's headed away by Melendez. Dolphins looking to keep it at this end of the pitch. Two teams battling in front of the CSI bench. And the Mavericks are awarded a throw. Once again, Matthias Schilbred Eriksson will throw it in. And once again, he looks to throw it long. A lot of arc on that throw. And we have a whistle just shy of the midfield stripe, and a foul is called against the Mavericks. Free kick, CSI. Leandro Angulo will take it. Dolphins assembled near the top of the penalty box. That sails into the penalty area. It's headed away by the Mavericks, but not very far. Alvarez got rid of it. Asensio Cueva sends it toward the box again with his left foot. Angulo. Nice job to avoid a pair of challenges. He wants to shoot, and his shot is blocked. Leandro Angulo was looking for Alvarez there. This is Kashenko chasing that ball down. He's being pressured and has to give it up to his keeper, Thompson. Flores. Carino has a step, and the flag goes up for offsides. That's why he had a step, as he made a run up the far sideline. Good ball to set him up. May have been a little bit too much on it, but Carino definitely had a chance. May have eased up a bit because of the whistle as well. Peñafiel moves across the midfield stripe. Give and go with Silva. Kashenko got a foot on it. And no whistle. Peñafiel not happy. Strong tackle by So. And Silva goes down this time. Free kick for the Mavericks. Taken quickly and too quickly for the head official. Peñafiel will line up over the ball. Most of his teammates gathered wide of the near post, and not a lot on that free kick. Sudden gust of wind that came as soon as that ball was contacted probably didn't help. There's a Dolphin down. Play continues. Looks like Angulo. This is Adebisi battling along the far side, and clock is stopped at 38:27. That will give Angulo a chance to recuperate a bit. Drop ball for Staten Island. Flores to Kashenko. Kashenko back to Flores. Flores sends that a long way up the pitch, looking for Carino again. Carino battling to keep it in. It's a Dolphins throw, taken immediately for Adebisi, and Elvestad was ready. Good awareness there by the Mavericks keeper. If he is not well aware of what the Dolphins are doing, throwing that ball in quickly and deep into the box, Adebisi may have had a chance to get there first. Van Buren. Melendez into the midfield. Baptista. Baptista was looking for Dalmau, and a pass off target. Dolphin substitution coming on here.
Now into the game for the Dolphins, number 25.
Jamali Peterson back into the game.
Number 10, Shane Siegel.
And he will replace Shane Siegel. 37:15 on the clock. As that's headed up in the air, far side, and it gets away from Jamali Peterson. Throw in taken far side by the Mavericks. That pass intercepted by Carino. He battles for possession. He's got it. And Alvarez had it deflect off his foot. Asensio Cueva gives chase. It's knocked over the near side by Asensio Cueva. Throw in taken long by Peña-Fiel, and Dolphins send it over the near side once again. Another Mavericks throw in upcoming. And they will take their time here. Pace of this game has been a quick one. Mavericks were a bit more methodical early, but that has since changed. Mercy had moved the ball east to west quite a bit in the early going. Have now looked to attack any opening quickly, as that's headed toward midfield by the Dolphins, but they can't get it out of their defensive third. Rodriguez for Peña-Fiel. That's sent into the box and headed away by the Dolphins. It winds up with Thompson. Alvarez facing some pressure here as he tried to find some open real estate. He gets it to Peterson. Angulo wanted Carino, but Carino wasn't expecting it. That was a good setup by Angulo, just not on the same page with Carino. Rodriguez in the midfield. Peña-Fiel sent it off of Kashenko. So, had it knocked away. Sent back to Angulo. Now Adebisi. Mavericks took it away, and Peña-Fiel moves up the near side. He has a lot of room. That space closed quickly, and he had nowhere to go with it. He eased up for just a step or two. That took away any opportunity to send one toward goal. Didn't have much help down around the Dolphins' net, but instead sent it over the back line, and now the Dolphins look to move into the midfield, and we have a whistle. And CSI rightfully wanted an advantage played there. They didn't get it. And now a free kick for Staten Island to be taken by Leandro Angulo. It's sent deep into the attacking third where Elvestad is waiting. Handles it no problem and punts it back out toward midfield. And Alex Kuba makes the catch. The Dolphins head coach making that look easy, as CSI will make another substitution. Dennis Cotticelli in, and it looks like Stephen Adebisi will take a seat.
Now in the game for the Dolphins, number 3, Dennis Cotticelli. He replaces number 21, Stephen Adebisi.
Another fight for position, this time between Peterson and Melendez. Melendez got the better of it as the Mavericks move into almost into the midfield, and the Dolphins took it back. They were about a yard or two away from entering the midfield, and CSI shut that down. Kashenko for Cotticelli. Cotticelli sent one toward Alvarez. That's not close. Head official sending the Mavericks back ahead of this throw. Buren to Rodriguez and back to Melendez. Far side for Shilbert Eriksson. Shilbert Eriksson sent one up towards Cerda, and it bounces right back to Mercy as Thompson makes the save on that shot by Baptista. Bad bounce there for the Dolphins. Looked like they'd broken up the pass, but instead, Mavericks generated another quality scoring chance. That chance by no means a bad one, but we have not seen a very high-quality chance for either team yet. These two defenses have played well. Really limited the scoring opportunities as that's sent toward Angulo and headed just a bit high. Good cross by Cotticelli. He hit Angulo in stride, but Angulo was being marked by Dalmau. And Dalmau did a nice job to shield Angulo off the ball.
He replaces number 16, Corey Alvarez.
Brendan McGuire replaces Corey Alvarez for the Dolphins as we approach 31 minutes to play here in the second half. Carino gets there. He has some space. Angulo met by Van Buren. Nice turn. Angulo moving in, and that, I believe, a pass attempt was blocked. Cotticelli had a lot of room. I think that's where Angulo was going with it. Baptista up toward the far side. That's sent toward the far post way too long and unable to get there with the Mavericks. It's going to be a Dolphins throw. Dolphins throw along the near side. It's chipped toward the center of the pitch. Van Buren got to it first for the Mavericks. Give and go. Baptista forces Thompson to make another save. Baptista's been heavily involved these last couple of minutes. Gotten a couple quality shots off in that time. But nothing too threatening yet, as these attacking players have perhaps rushed their shots just a bit. The defenses for both teams have done a good job shutting down the shooting lanes. And right there, perhaps Baptista had more time than he thought. Mavericks move into the midfield. Angulo read that pass well, but didn't get all of it on the intercept. And here come the Mavericks again. And Dalmau looked across yet again, but Dolphins knock it over the end line. It's going to be a corner kick for the Mavericks. I believe this is their fourth. Clock continues to wind down towards 29 minutes to play here in the second half. Still no score. 7 shots on goal between the two teams, 2 of those coming in the last couple of minutes. That's sent into the penalty area, and Thompson makes an incredible save. How did he stop that one? Amari Thompson saves the header, and this score remains knotted at 0. What a play by Thompson. I'm not sure how he stopped it, but the Dolphins goalkeeper comes up big yet again.
He replaces number 7, Daniel Dalmau.
We'll get a second look at it. Following this attacking play from the Mavericks, that's crossed into the penalty area. The Dolphins cannot clear it far enough. I believe that header attempt was by Matteo Bacigalupo, number 18. And here's a second look at it. Ball sent into the penalty area, into a lot of traffic, and it redirected off the head of Bacigalupo, and somehow Thompson was able to throw up that right hand and make the save. He punched it over the bar. Slow it down for you one more time as we have an injured Dolphin down around the corner. Tough to tell who it is from this distance, but taking a look out toward the pitch, I think that's Carino. Fairly certain that's him, as he's being attended to by the trainer. So with a player down, we'll get one more look at that save by Thompson, this time in slow motion. Here you see the redirect, and then a second time off the head of Bacigalupo. What a save by Amari Thompson. With that, Thompson now officially has 6 saves. Shots overall favor the Mavericks 10-5. It's going to be a Mavericks throw-in when play resumes. Now, Carino is still in the area. He's going to gingerly walk off as Shilbrett Erickson throws it long, and that's sent wide of the frame. Javier Campos checks into the game. He was Wednesday's hero, and I think an East Coast Conference Play of the Week nomination may be forthcoming for him. Following that game-winning strike on Wednesday at Alliance University, the Dolphins were outplayed on the stat sheet for much of that game. You take a look at the shots and the corner kicks and time of possession. Most of those numbers favored Alliance, but one column that matters, goals, favored Staten Island, thanks to Campos and his 81st minute game winner. Peterson unable to get there, ahead of Elvestad. He's looking for somewhere to go with it. He has Melendez. Melendez up to Shilbrett Erickson. He works along the far side. That was redirected by Silva. And the Mavericks give it away. This is McGuire. McGuire moving in, left-footed shot, easily saved. Not much of a shooting lane there, but McGuire certainly made the most of it. Didn't get all of that shot, but was able to put one by the Mavericks' defense. That shot on goal, the third for Staten Island. As that ball sent long up the far side, Angulo gets ahead on it. Rodriguez, Flores, and Angulo all there, and Angulo comes away with it as he draws a foul, and it's going to be a free kick for the Dolphins here. 26 minutes to play in the second half. Free kick upcoming for Staten Island. We are still looking for our first goal. We had 6 in the early game. None yet here in the late game, as Elvestad tracks that one down off the head of one of his own backers. Van Buren for Rodriguez. Rodriguez had Peña-Fael, and now Rodriguez again. Gives it to Peña-Fael. And McGuire quickly turns and moves forward into the midfield. This is Cotticelli. Cotticelli battling with Baptista. And Baptista comes away with it. He was met by Campos. Now Shilbrett Erickson threads the needle along the far side. It's sent back the other way by the Dolphins. Peterson waits for it. He's got it. And it looks like we may have had an offsides call. Now the clock has been stopped at 24:55. And Peterson is going to get a talking to here. Now, didn't catch if he was whistled for a foul or for offsides. We might be able to double check on this replay if we caught it in time. I think he was just whistled for a foul. And perhaps his reaction drew a word from the official. I think that's what happened. And we have another whistle here at this end of the pitch. Mavericks bench didn't like it. They are awarded a free kick. I think they wanted an advantage played once again. Didn't get it. Clock down to 24:20. Mavericks bench still unhappy as the clock is stopped again. Here's a look at what happened with Peterson at the other end. We have a stoppage. Now, Peterson is being told here not to move any closer to the free kick taker, as that's sent into the box. Waiting for it and coming down with it was Cerda. And he looks to send it in toward goal, but could not. 23:47 on the clock here in the second half. This is Flores. Dangerous pass back to Thompson. Pasigualupo was close there. Long ball up ahead toward Peterson. He will battle for position again. And Peterson goes down, recovered quickly, and the Dolphins will throw. Throw-in being taken from deep in the attacking third, down around the corner. Looks like Peterson is going to try and step into this one yet again. Here comes the throw. Goes towards So, headed in the air. Kushenko in the area. Cotticelli toward goal and off the post. Dennis Cotticelli just missed, giving CSI the lead. And now the Mavericks look to counter. Here comes Mercy back the other way. And that shot may have been blocked. What a defensive play and recovery by Steven Flores. He gets a well-deserved high five from his teammates. And we will get a look at what happened at the other end of the pitch as Cotticelli nearly gave Staten Island the lead. We may have to wait until after this corner kick. We're going to get a look at that whole sequence again once we have a stoppage. But a big corner kick upcoming as Mercy nearly scored on the counter. Big block by the Dolphins defensively as it was cleared away on the header from Angulo and sent down into the corner. Mercy, I thought, might be awarded a throw. That was not deflected. Dolphins are awarded a throw. Silva double teamed. Silva goes down. Call is goal kick. Staten Island and the Mercy bench not happy about that either, as we'll get a second look at something they may be a bit more pleased with. The Post keeping this game scoreless as Cotticelli made a bid for the game's first goal. Sent it off the post on the counter. Mavericks had a golden opportunity and a tremendous recovery by Steven Flores prevented a shot on goal. As So is able to maintain control of that ball after he went down. That pass into the midfield sets up a foul, and there's no question about that one. Not sure how Baptista could argue that call. Free kick Staten Island to be taken from right along the midfield stripe. Kushenko will take it. We'll see if he looks to play this in the box. "20 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the second half. Kushenko toward the top of the box. It's knocked down by the Mavericks. Sent back toward midfield off the head of Cerda. Rodriguez, and we had a whistle. Mavericks once again pleading to have the advantage played there. Not sure you can blame them in that spot either. Looked like there was certainly an opportunity to play the advantage for Mercy. As the Dolphins intercept, that's Campos for So. So, working against Rodriguez. Was looking for Peterson on that pass, a bit too strong. Inside of 20 minutes to play now. We had a handball call. Free kick Staten Island coming up. It's probably about as vocal as I've heard two benches in a game this year. Specifically Mercy in the second half. Dolphins bench typically a vocal one. As that ball is headed away by the Mavericks, taken away by Angulo. Angulo has McGuire. McGuire shoots! And that's not wide by much. Brendan McGuire with a quality chance. We'll get a second look at it as the Dolphins made a bid for the first goal yet again. Nice job there by Daniel Angulo to take possession back. He then set up McGuire, who once again looked to shoot through a tight window. There wasn't much room, but McGuire was able to get the shot through as head coach Alex Kuba elected not to catch that one. He played it off his chest along the Dolphins sideline. It's going to be a Staten Island throw-in from alongside their own bench. Long throw by Angulo. Peterson chips it in the air, and it's headed away out of a dangerous position by Peña-Fayel. That one sent long by Baptista. Silva was there. Throw in for the Mavericks. Shilbert Erickson threw it over the head of Rodriguez. This is Flores. Flores up to So in the midfield as he gets tangled up. And he got it away to Asensio Cueva. Cotticelli couldn't keep it in for Staten Island along the near side. And they're going to move Peña-Fayel back. Serta sends one toward goal. That's well high. And over the netting behind the Dolphins' goal. Now, I didn't catch it earlier, but it looks like Steven Flores is sporting one of those Volt yellow armbands as well, which would mean both teams have 3 captains. It at least appears that way from up here, as that one rolls into the box and it's scooped up by Elvestad. And he's definitely wearing one of those armbands, so he joins So and Bronco as Dolphins captains. He certainly earned it with some of the plays we've seen in the back during this game and all season long, as the Mavericks look to send it in front. Centering pass was blocked. That's taken away, but unable to keep it in for the Mavericks was Silva. Dolphins will throw. 16 and a half minutes to play from Dolphins Soccer Park. One goal could very well be enough to win it for either team. As Van Buren heads it back to Elvestad. Van Buren gets it back. Now Melendez. Melendez moving to the midfield. Gives it up to Costa. Rodriguez. Near side. For Van Buren. Van Buren missed his intended target. Looked like he was trying to send that up to Peña-Fayel. Looked like they were waiting for a substitution. Nobody coming on yet. There are a couple of Dolphins gathered near the scorer's table as that's headed into the attacking third. Serta wanted it back. Didn't get it when he expected. And down goes Basigalupo. Peterson met right over the ball by Rodriguez. And now Angulo is pushed from behind. Serta with a shove from behind, and So is petitioning for a yellow card, saying that's the second time that Serta committed a hard foul and a push. Head official is smiling, though. He appears quite all right with So's petitioning right now. Head official's done a good job in this game. Got very physical early, but he exercised control over it and made sure things didn't escalate. Now, if you ask the benches what they think, they might say there could have been a couple more advantages played, but that's the benches in terms of shutting down the overly physical play. He's done a good job of that. That's knocked away by Asensio Cueva. Peñafiel could not turn, met by two Dolphins. And that's sent over the near side by Van Buren. Staten Island awarded a throw. Asensio Cueva throws it right off the head of Peñafiel. Now Rodriguez chips it into the air. Angulo and Cerda both meet over the ball. Codicelli has it taken away, and that's kept in by the Mavericks. Sent a long way by Asensio Cueva. Peterson giving chase. And Melendez was put in a tough spot right there. Did well to send it back into the midfield. He had a couple of Dolphins bearing down on him, one from each side. Looked like Silva almost lost his footing there, as that's knocked down with the body by Kishenko. Daniel Angulo is down. Clock has been stopped at 13:45. Dolphins had possession when Angulo went down, and he's going to get some help from from Peñafiel. So despite the physical play, we've seen more than one display of good sportsmanship from these two teams. You love to see that. When the clock is running and you're in the heat of battle, sometimes the physicality picks up a bit, but when we've had injury stoppages and players have been down for one reason or another, we've seen on more than one occasion players helping each other to their feet from opposite teams. So you like to see that. Angulo trying to get loose along the near side. He's going to have to walk all the way around, or at least I thought so, as he's allowed to walk right back out onto the pitch, likely because the Dolphins did not make a change. CSI will throw in from in front of their own bench here. Shilbert Erickson was down on a knee. He was petitioning with the lines judge. And now we'll get that Dolphins throw as the clock was stopped at 13:27. At least it appeared that way. Throwing once again for Staten Island. Horn went off, but the Mavericks can't make a change here. Though it looked like the Dolphins still have a couple of players orbiting that scorer's table. It looks like Bronco and perhaps Roberto Joffrey from up here. Tough to tell from this distance, but it looks like Joffrey and Bronco are both in the area. However, they still have those Volt yellow warm-up bibs on. There you see them. So at some point we can probably expect both of them to come in. And we've now had a yellow card issued to Daniel Rodriguez. Perhaps he got a bit too boisterous with the head official. Clock is stopped once again at 12:43. We await a Dolphins corner kick here, so a chance for CSI. This corner kick just their first. The Mavericks have 6. That's sent toward the far post over Elvestad, and CSI certainly had a chance there. Kishenko was in the area. And now a substitution will come on for the Mavericks. David Breitenbach back into the game. He will replace Matteo Basigalupo. Basigalupo and Codicelli have had the best scoring opportunity for their teams. I still don't know how Thompson kept out the header by Basigalupo, and then Codicelli sent one off the post for the Dolphins, but those two chances by far the best for each team. Down goes McGuire, and the whistle is blown. Free kick Staten Island here. And they're going to move this one back and a bit further to the left. So Angulo may give way to Kishenko here, and he will. So Nicholas Kishenko will attempt this free kick. Clock is stopped, or it appeared stopped at 11:33. Sometimes the scoreboard skips a second or two. It takes some time for our system up here in the press box to communicate with outside, but clock is running, As that is sent towards Asensio Cueva with a good ball, and McGuire nearly got there to clean it up. Corner kick Staten Island here, as we now have 11 minutes to play in this second half. This has been a good one from Dolphins Soccer Park. It is very likely that one goal will decide it the way things have gone to this point, but you simply never know. Another chance on a set piece here for the Dolphins, and that's not a good corner as it sails over the box. McGuire kept it in, but first to it was Melendez. Breitenbach with a giveaway in the midfield. That was headed cleanly by Baptista. Nice job there to line that one up. And we have a foul in the midfield. So is down, but I don't think he was involved in the whistle. Clock is still running. See if they stop it. And now they stop it, but Mavericks bench was not happy. So cradling the ball, trying to buy himself some time to get back to his feet. Benches were clamoring for the clock to be stopped. And you can tell they are not happy with the officiating in this game. There's no doubt about it. No question the benches haven't liked it. As the Mavericks move in toward the penalty area. Silva avoided one challenge. Plays a man through that. Cerda, he sends it in front. It pinballs around, and a shot is blocked. The ball found its way back to Silva, and his attempt was blocked by, it looked like a pair of Dolphins. We'll get a second look in a few moments as that cross is headed away by Kishenko. Looked like Peña-Fiel thought about shooting as Rodriguez tracks it down in the midfield. And the Mavericks will play it back to their keeper. We'll get a look at that last shot once we have another stoppage. And here comes Peterson. Peterson is offsides, and I thought so. We'll get a second look at that as well. So we have a couple of replays to queue up for you. And the flag was up. I was just waiting for play to be stopped. It was close, and you will get a second look at that offsides call on the replay. Want to make sure you don't miss anything here, so we'll wait for another stoppage as that's sent over the near side. So we'll get a look right here. This is the offsides call. Here you see the pass, and that's close. The flag went up right away as Peterson moved in.
Into the game for the Dolphins, number 14, Steven Bronco. He replaces number 12.
In addition to that, we have a look at the scoring chance. Pinballs off a couple of Dolphins and was blocked by So. CSI throws in along the near side. It's headed by Angulo. Headed again by Costa. Possession stays with Mercy. 7:50 on the clock here in the second half. This ball rolls down toward the corner. And that's a goal kick by the slimmest of margins. Doesn't get much closer than that. Just over 7.5 to play. Flores toward Peterson. Van Buren handles it off the redirect. Now Cerda in the midfield. Misplayed it. And the Dolphins give it right back. Peña-Fiel has a man. That's Breitenbach, and Angulo takes possession back for CSI. Sends it up toward Peterson. Peterson battling with Melendez, and he commits the foul. Play continues immediately. Here comes Silva, and that's sent toward goal. Looked like a pass attempt there. Under 7 minutes to play now. Thompson taking his time here. He will punt it well beyond midfield. Peterson knocks it down with the body. Mavericks wanted a handball. A good no call there, as Peterson gets it right back from So. Peterson being pressured by Melendez. He got it to Bronco. Bronco tracks it down, working against Peña-Fiel. Bronco sends it toward the center of the pitch. McGuire has Angulo. Peterson is down for CSI. Codicelli is open in the corner. He may have a chance to cross it. Instead, moves along the touchline, keeps it in, and the Mavericks take it away. Angulo with a risky play there to try and come down and meet that ball, but Flores able to clean it up, and Steven Flores has had himself quite a game. Backing up Angulo along that far sideline. A good job there by Flores. Shot toward goal! Saved by Thompson yet again! What a save by Thompson! He has been fantastic when called upon in this game, and he comes up big yet again with just over 5.5 minutes to play. A full extension diving save by Thompson. I'm not sure if that one finds its way in, but it certainly looked like it. As the corner once again taken short, Shilbrett Eriksson, center of the box. Shot was sent wide, but Van Buren was not far away. Here's another look at that incredible save by Thompson. I think that ball was going to bend in. At the very least, it was going to hit the post. Thompson comes up huge for the Dolphins a second time. We'll get a second look at that last shot attempt by the Mavericks as well. It sailed wide.
For the Dolphins, number 10, Shane Siegel. He replaces number 25, Jamali Peterson.
Shane Siegel checks in, replacing Jamali Peterson with 4.5 minutes to play. There you get a look at the last attempt by the Mavericks, traveling just wide. Mercy moves into the attacking third yet again, and that was deflected by Flores. Corner kick for the Mavericks. This will be number 9 for Mercy in this game. They've taken many of them short. We'll see what they look to do in this spot. Shilbrett Eriksson was set up waiting for it. Codicelli appears content to concede that short pass. He's not too far away, however, so if they do go short, he's in the area. You can see him leaning a bit in that direction. Here comes the corner. This one sent toward goal. Headed by So. Cleared by McGuire. And that's going to roll over the near side. And that's off the top of the fence and into the stands. Throw-in upcoming for the Mavericks. 3.5 to play from Dolphin Soccer Park. Throw taken by Peña-Fiel. Bronco goes down, and Baptista went down over the top of him. Free kick, Staten Island. Three minutes and 10 seconds on the clock as Kashenko sends it long. Bronco and Van Buren in the area. Van Buren was able to get a foot on it first. Mavericks look to move into the midfield. Pressure from the Dolphins stifles that. Breitenbach sends it up ahead. There's nobody home. Asensio Cueva into the midfield. Van Buren tracks it down and heads it to his keeper. 2:40 on the clock. Van Buren up to Melendez. Melendez pressured by Siegel. Plays it back to his keeper, Elvestad. Elvestad sends one up the pitch and over the far side. Dolphins will throw as we approach 2 minutes to play. Once again, for those unfamiliar, no overtime in the collegiate game any longer. So this game will end in 2 minutes as we have whistle after whistle along that far side. I think we had a handball against the Mavericks. So the Dolphins are awarded a free kick. And this set piece is a big one. Two teams unlikely to get many more chances. Leandro Angulo will take this. He sends it low on a line toward the top of the box. And that was deflected over the touchline. Now, not sure Elvestad realized that his team was the last to touch it. But nonetheless, the Dolphins are awarded the corner kick. We are nearing 1 minute to play in the second half. Dolphins looking to win this one in dramatic fashion with a late goal. The Mavericks hoping for another chance themselves. Corner kick, center of the box, headed by Kishenko and kept out by the Mavericks as that was headed off of the goal line by Melendez. That one was ticketed for goal, but Melendez got in between that ball and the goal line, and he headed it away along the far post. Dolphins will try again. 40 seconds to play. Corner kick toward the far post. Van Buren headed it away from Kishenko. There's nobody there to take the throw in for the Dolphins. Shane Siegel with 20 seconds to play will throw. Looks like he may have lost his grip on the ball. The Mavericks hoping to clear, and they do. Asensio Cueva waiting, 10 seconds to play. Codicelli up ahead. Siegel looked to be offsides, and that will do it. And this match will end in a draw, and what a game it was between the Dolphins and the Mavericks. This one was entertaining from start to finish. Dolphins came oh so close right here. We're going to get another look at that last attempt off the head of Nicholas Kishenko. It was kept out by Saul Melendez. And here's another look at it. Right now, the reason that this game will end in a scoreless tie. So was right there. Not a lot behind that header, but if Melendez isn't there, the Dolphins take the lead. However, as it stands, these two teams play to a draw. For the Dolphins, it is their first draw of the season. Their record on the year now 4-9-1. For Mercy College, they are now 9-2-3. Next up for the Mavericks is a matchup with East Stroudsburg University on Tuesday at 3 p.m. That a non-conference matchup to be played in Dobbs Ferry on Tuesday. As for the Dolphins, they have 3 more conference games remaining on the schedule, the first of which will be played 1 week from today on Saturday, October 22nd, against the University of the District of Columbia. For us here at CSI Sportsnet, our next broadcast is on Wednesday as women's soccer takes on Georgian Court. That game will kick off at 2 p.m. on Wednesday. So until then, this has been Joe Foreman, and for all of us here at the College of Staten Island, we thank you for watching. Once again, Mavericks and Dolphins battle to a draw in this NCAA Division II men's soccer matchup. Women's soccer, our next broadcast on Wednesday. Be sure to tune in then. And until Wednesday, enjoy the rest of your weekend.